Listen to me now, because this is the hour I have chosen to place a lamp in your hand so you will not stumble in the dark corridor of what is about to arrive. I saw your tears before you cried them, and I measured the ache in your chest before a single word was spoken against you. I am not late, and I am not distant. I am closer than your breath and steadier than your pulse. When memories rise like cold wind and you wonder why kindness was not enough to change the heart that hurt you, I wrap you in a covering they cannot pierce. I am not sending this word to frighten you, but to make you unbreakable where they hoped you would snap. God says, do not mistake the tremble in the air for danger that can swallow you, because I am the one who speaks to storms and the storms lower their voices. There is a message coming to your home, a knock you will not expect, a notification you did not plan to see, and it will carry the weight of something heartbreaking. Yet I say to you, sorrow will not be your new address. It will pass by your doorway like a shadow that cannot remain where light is anchored. I, the Lord, have set a boundary around you, and what intends to crush you will instead confess the truth that sets you free. God says, tomorrow on August 28th is not a date on a calendar for you to fear. It is a line I drew across time where what was hidden must step forward into my light. The one who wounded you has been walking in a circle of their own making, stepping over the same stones of selfishness and denial until they can no longer pretend the path is straight. The cup they mixed with lies is now in their hand, and I will not let them spill it on you anymore. I am the God who exposes not to shame you, but to heal you, not to humiliate them, but to end the harvest of harm. There will be words, some spoken with trembling, some sent with trembling, and you will feel the chill of old pain. Breathe, beloved. I am in the room before the words arrive. God says, you have carried questions like hot coals, afraid to drop them because you believed you needed their heat to stay awake. You do not need to burn to be alert. I am giving you a new watchfulness that does not cost your peace, a clarity that does not demand your sleep. The enemy tried to write weak across your name, but I wrote protected with a fire he cannot touch. The unseen world noticed when you chose compassion instead of revenge. The heavens recorded the midnight hour you forgave without applause. Nothing of that is wasted. I count seeds the way oceans count drops, none are lost. God says, an emergency does not make me anxious. When Archangel Michael says it is an emergency, it means my command has been issued and the speed of heaven has been released to wrap around you. Do not think of sirens, think of wings. Do not imagine chaos, imagine order arriving faster than harm can move. Michael stands where the threshold of your home meets the wind outside, sword lowered but ready, not to terrify you but to terrify what tried to terrify you. The emergency is this: deception has reached its limit, and truth must be escorted safely into your hands. God says, there will be a message bearing a confession or a confession dressed as an excuse. There may be a name attached that makes your knees feel weak, as if the past had fingers and they found your shoulder again. Know this: those fingers no longer have authority. You will not be dragged back into rooms you've already left. If they attempt to pull you by the sleeve of guilt, I will unthread that fabric and clothe you in courage. If they pretend they do not remember what they did, I will cause circumstances to remember for them. Mercy is my nature, and justice is my footprint. When I walk, both appear. God says, prepare your heart but do not brace as if a blow is coming, open as if rain is coming. The ground of your hope has been dry, and you have wondered whether anything good can grow after so much was trampled. I am sending the early and the latter rain together. You will feel grief rise, but it will not drown you. It will loosen the soil so that new roots can sink deep. I am not asking you to pretend this does not hurt. I am commanding the hurt to release you. God says, you asked me in secret, why didn't you stop it? You asked without bitterness, like a child who wants a father to explain. Hear me, I never endorsed what harmed you. I kept you when you could not keep yourself. I did not force a heart to be soft, I set a time for truth to visit. That time is upon you now. I will take what they meant to break and turn it into a key. You will open doors you never knew were locked because of that key. You will step into rooms of opportunity that have windows facing dawns you have not witnessed yet. God says, when the news comes, when the message knocks on your day, do not answer with panic. Answer with the authority I have given you. If they beg you to carry their consequences, lay that burden at my feet and keep your spine straight. If tears come, let them cleanse. If anger rises, let it pass through the filter of my wisdom before it speaks. You do not need to clap thunder to be heard. Your quiet yes to me is thunder enough in the unseen realm. God says, the one who hurt you is about to face themselves in a mirror polished by my hand. They will see not the face they show to crowds, but the lines of choices etched beneath the skin of their excuses. Some will reach for me and live, some will reach for a new lie and learn. Either way, your deliverance is not tied to their decision. I release you from the knot. I cut the rope. You will not spend another year untying yourself strand by strand while they weave a new snare. God says, I am sending helpers, not the kind that arrive to spy, not the kind who wrap gossip in the ribbon of concern. I am sending the kind who know how to cover a wound while it heals, who understand that silence can be a sanctuary. There will be a phone call you can trust, a neighbor whose timing surprises you, a stranger whose words land like medicine you did not know you needed. I choreograph mercy with more care than dancers rehearse a stage. Do not despise what looks small. Sometimes the bandage is small but the stopping of the bleeding is great. God says, your house will not be a museum of suffering. Your table will not be set with fear. I am teaching your walls to echo laughter again. I am placing a new song in your mouth, not one of denial but one of defiant hope. When you wake in the night and the room remembers what was done to you, Whisper my name and watch the night remember what I did for you. Darkness is not loyal to itself when my light arrives, it breaks rank and flees. God says, there were letters never sent and words never said. You thought closure was a door only they could close, but I am the carpenter of impossible doors. Watch me hinge peace onto nothing but my promise and still make it hold your heart. What you think must come from them, I will supply from me. What you think must be returned by them, I will replace with better. What you think must be repaired by their apology, I will restore with my touch before they can spell the word sorry. God says, do not go searching for the pain has already been searching for you long enough. Let it arrive where I have summoned it and no farther. Let it speak what it must speak and then let it leave. You are not obligated to keep hosting what bruised you. You are permitted to end the meeting early. Your no is holy when it protects what I am healing. God says, as the date approaches, the enemy will try to counterfeit urgency with chaos, to mimic warning with dread. Do not give dread a chair. Open the window and let me dress the room with fresh air. Keep oil in your lamp, by oil I mean the little obediences. Drink water, eat what keeps you clear, rest the eyes I love, put your feet on the ground and thank me out loud. These are not small acts, they are the muscles of resilience. They tell your nervous system the truth that I am near. God says, I will speak to you in simple sentences when the moment comes. Breathe now. Pause here. Answer like this. Do not answer yet. You will recognize my voice, not because it shouts, but because it steadies you. You will notice time slow down enough to choose wisdom over reflex. This is my gift, this is how I bring honey out of the lion's mouth. The same place that roared at you becomes a place you walk past without flinching. God says, there are blessings already on their way that the heartbreak cannot intercept. A provision with your name on it has left the warehouse of heaven. An opportunity that does not require you to shrink is approaching your doorstep. I am even now removing the residue of shame from your decisions, so that when the good arrives you will not apologize for receiving it. The enemy hoped to time the blow with the blessing so you would confuse the two. I have untangled the timelines. You will know what to refuse and what to embrace. God says, you feared that if you tell the truth about what happened, your voice will tremble and they will not believe you. I will be the firmness in your tone, the clarity in your eyes, the rest in your shoulders. You do not have to make your story heavier to be taken seriously. Speak plainly. Stand kindly. Let me be your witness. Nature itself will testify for you, the timing, the coincidences that are not coincidences, the details no one knew but me and now appear like keys in your palm. God says, forgiveness is not an invitation back into harm. Mercy does not require amnesia. If I ask you to release the debt, I am not asking you to reopen the account. I am asking you to let me close it and stamp it, paid in full, by grace you do not have to manufacture. The interest of bitterness will no longer accrue in your heart. You will be rich in peace, and that wealth will purchase days you thought were lost. God says, when Archangel Michael says it is an emergency, it is also a celebration, because it means the siege is ending. See the banners I raise over your home, not of war now, but of victory recognized. I am training you to expect goodness without flinching, to welcome joy without scanning the corners for threats. This is not naivete, this is recovery. This is what it feels like when captivity cannot remember your address. God says, the one who hurt you is about to find that the ground beneath them has become honest. They will not be able to run on it without stumbling over the truth. If they seek reconciliation in humility, you will have the wisdom to walk that narrow bridge slowly and safely. If they seek access without accountability, you will have the strength to bless them from a distance and keep walking. Either way, you will not be snagged on their choices. I am your horizon, not their history. God says, keep your hands open. Do not clench fear like a stone. Release what is not yours to control, how they respond, who believes you, how quickly others understand. Hold fast to what is yours, your boundaries, your breath, your posture, your praise. Praise in a whisper if you must, but let your soul agree with me. Agreement with me rearranges rooms without moving furniture. It shifts atmospheres where words cannot. God says, I honor the child in you who waited at windows and the warrior in you who learned how to lock doors. I am teaching them to live in the same house. You will not be naive again, and you will not be hardened again. You will be wise and soft, strong and gentle, alert and at rest. This combination is not a contradiction, it is the reflection of my heart in yours. God says, I am laying new foundations under your feet while you sleep. Forgiveness will not be fragile in you anymore. Hope will not need perfect weather to grow. You will carry a quiet authority that makes predators lose interest and makes the broken feel safe. Your presence will become a porch light for others who are wandering. You will not have to preach with a raised voice. Your healed life will be a sermon they can sit under. God says, when the message arrives, remember this word. You are not alone in the room, even if you are physically alone. I will stand between you and the past as a shield that does not dent. I will stand beside you as counsel that does not confuse. I will stand within you as peace that does not leak. You will feel me, you will know me, you will be surprised by how unshakable you are. God says, do not try to rehearse every possible scenario. The enemy loves rehearsals because they drain the strength needed for the performance of truth. Instead, rehearse my faithfulness. List the times I rescued you, not to compare pains, but to remind your heart that deliverance is not a rare event, it is your story's rhythm. This upcoming heartbreak will try to write itself as the final chapter, but it is only a page. I am the author and I am still writing. God says, because you did not curse those who harmed you, I will bless you in ways that make cursing impossible in your mouth. Because you did not turn your pain into a weapon, I will turn your pain into a well. You will draw water when others are thirsty, and they will not taste bitterness in it. Even the ones who misunderstood you will drink and be refreshed, and some will apologize with tears you never demanded. God says, I am not finished with the one who hurt you. Pray for them without inviting them back into your midnight. Bless them without handing them the keys. Intercede like someone who knows the judge and trusts his calendar. There is a difference between closure and contact. I will teach you which is which. You will not confuse mercy with surrender again. God says, you feared that if you healed you would lose the proof that it happened. I preserve truth even as I close wounds. Your healing will not erase the lesson, it will remove the sting. Your clarity will remain, your vigilance will become wisdom instead of tension. People will remark on the light in your eyes and ask what changed, and you will tell them, God stepped into the room before the news arrived. God says, you are entering days where your heart will practice endurance without exhaustion. I will pace you. I will slow you down so you do not trip over gifts. I will speed you up so you do not get trapped in delays disguised as duties. I am the shepherd who knows where the wolves lurk and where the meadows open. Walk with me, step by step. God says, I am sending a sign in the quiet hours before the message comes, a small kindness that feels out of place, a gentle reminder from a verse you have not read in years, a memory that no longer hurts when you touch it. Note them. These are markers on the road, proof that I prepared comfort before you needed it. You will not have to chase comfort, comfort will sit beside you. God says, I place my hand on your chest now and steady what shakes. I speak to your nervous system and I say, peace, be still. I speak to the memory of betrayal and I say, you no longer get to introduce yourself as destiny. I speak to your future and I say, make room for joy that does not apologize for staying. Let this be so deep in you that even your dreams learn the new language of safety. God says, when tomorrow on August 28th is remembered, it will not be as the day you were destroyed, but as the day you were delivered. You will be able to point back and say, here was the turning. The letter came, the words were said, the truth shook the dust off the furniture of old lies, and yet I stood, and yet I breathed, and yet I rose. And after you rise, you will not return to the smallness that pain tried to assign you. You will walk the wide place I am opening. God says, I bless your doorway, your screens, your floors, your pillow, your pen. I bless your yes and I bless your no. I bless your beginnings and I bless your boundaries. I bless the conversations that end cycles and the silence that guards your rest. I bless the new friendships that will not demand payment from your past. God says, do not skip this word. Keep it somewhere your eyes can find it. Read it out loud if the room feels heavy. I am not sending you a riddle, I am giving you a roadmap. There will be a bend in it, but there will also be a sunrise. The news may be heartbreaking, but your heart will not break. It will bow, it will release, it will learn a stronger beat. God says, when it is done, when the message is opened, when the tears have passed, when your breath returns steady, come back to me and let me show you what I built while you were brave. I have prepared a table in the presence of everything that said you would never make it this far. Sit. Eat. Laugh. Live. The emergency is real, but so is the rescue, and the rescue wears my face. God says, this is for you. I am not late. I am not far. I am with you now, and I will be with you when the doorbell rings, when the message chimes, when the truth stands shivering and asks to come inside. You will know what to do because I will be the knowing in you. You will not be shaken out of my hand. You are mine, and you are safe, and you are about to see why I told you not to skip this. I am speaking to you now because your heart has been carrying a weight it never asked for, and I have watched you shoulder it without complaint, even when your voice trembled and your hands felt empty. I am speaking to you because I have not forgotten a single tear you hid from the world, not one sigh you tucked into your pillow, not one prayer you whispered when you thought no one was listening. I am speaking to you because you are mine, and when something tries to break what belongs to me, I rise like a shield and a storm and a sunrise all at once. Hear me, I have come close, closer than the breath in your lungs, closer than your own thoughts. I am at the door of your attention with a message sealed in mercy and written in fire. Do not turn away. Do not shrink from these words. Do not let the enemy steal this moment. Let my voice be the lamp you hold in a dark hallway, the letter that arrives when you feared you had been forgotten. You called it heartbreaking news, and I will not pretend it is small. I will not dress pain in cheerful colors and ask you to call it joy. I will meet your pain with my presence, because my presence is the one thing that changes everything without asking you to pretend. What approaches your home is not sent to destroy you, even though it carries grief in its shadow. What approaches is a truth that has been knocking for longer than you knew, a reckoning for what was hidden, a release for what you carried. You feared the day the doorbell would ring with the ache you always sensed, the confirmation you tried to talk yourself out of, the message that says, yes, something was wrong all along. I tell you now, I am not late to this doorbell. I will be standing with you when it rings. I will steady your hands when they hold the letter. I will slow your breath, I will anchor your soul, I will place a word of quiet in the center of the storm, and that word will be enough. Archangel Michael stands at your threshold as my appointed guardian, swift, bright, watchful. He has already walked the streets that lead to your address and marked the corners with light. He has spoken to the gate of your home and set a boundary the enemy may not cross. He has stood over your sleep with a sword drawn not in rage but in perfect justice, and he has said to every dark whisper, "You will not have this one." He says it now with clarity that shakes the invisible. It's an emergency to ignore this message. Not because you are unsafe in my hands, but because timing matters when I am moving pieces the world cannot see. My timing is not a threat, my timing is a rescue. You asked for rescue, and rescue has a clock. Do not confuse urgency with fear. My urgency is love moving at the speed of your healing. The one who hurt you is about. You pause there because your spirit already knows the rest, and the rest has teeth. I will say it, the one who hurt you is about to face what they planted. Not as your revenge, for revenge is too small and too bitter for your beautiful heart, but as my justice, which is clean and bright and meant to free both the wounded and the one who wounded. I do not delight in anyone's collapse, but I am the God of sequences. What is sown cannot pretend forever that it was never sown. There is accountability coming, not to humiliate you or them, but to put the story back into honest order. You will not need to push this. You will not need to craft speeches or gather proofs. You will need only to stand still and see the salvation I perform in the open. Tomorrow on August 28th, your memory clings to dates because you wanted to know when you could finally exhale. I honor your desire for a day on the calendar that feels safe, a day that sprinkles the future with relief. Hear me, I have set times and seasons with wisdom, and while your days on paper help you plan your steps, my day in your spirit tells you who walks beside you. Whether the date you clutch reminds you of a loss or a promise, I am not bound to the fear that date carries. I am Lord of the timeline and the turning of pages. The exact hour of this message's arrival is not an accident. What you have feared meeting is now coming, and what you need to stand upright when it comes is already inside of you because I put it there. You will not be shattered. You will be clarified. You have wondered if you would have to walk into another room and pretend you are fine so you can protect other people from your sadness. I release you from the theater of pretending. You will be kind, you will be gentle, you will be wise, but you will not suffocate under the mask of okay. I give you permission to be true. When the news enters, let your face be what it is. Let your breath be what it is. Let the tears come if they must. Michael will stand between your vulnerability and any force that tries to make a home in your breaking. He will usher away the scavengers that circle around pain looking for a story to own. He will keep your space clear. He is not a rumor, he is a royal decree in motion. When you feel a sudden stillness in the room, when a quiet courage rises from your stomach to your voice, when words you didn't rehearse fall like clean water, you will know he is doing his work. You have also asked me about the person who harmed you, whether they will ever understand what they did, whether they will ever say the words you needed, whether they will ever stop misnaming your kindness as weakness. I will tell you a mystery of mercy. I can heal you without waiting for their apology, and I can call them to truth without inviting you to be the sacrifice again. I am not sending you back into a room where your boundaries are erased. I am sending understanding to them like a dawn that refuses to be ignored. Some will welcome it. Some will fight it. Neither outcome will chain your healing to their choice. I am your healer directly. I will restore your sense of worth in a way that does not depend on the one who tried to calculate it down to nothing.